Hey everybody, good morning, good morning, good morning. Actually, it's not even morning anymore. It is afternoon. So happy afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. This is Tevra Francis of NJ in Color. We're coming to you with a live conversation. We really just thought about this a minute ago, literally 10 minutes ago. I called my guest and she was so gracious to agree to join me today because there's a lot to talk about. This is a busy day. Next few hours, we're going to be voting tomorrow if you haven't voted already. So we're just going to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to add about the Black vote in Bergen County and why this is important that we all get out and vote if you haven't already. Early voting started yesterday or ended yesterday, and so now we are waiting for the primary, which is tomorrow. Hey, Dr. Suzanne, how are
Hi,
you?
how are you?
I'm fantastic. I was just saying how you agreed to join me like 10 minutes ago, literally. So,
Yes,
but
yes.
when you get to know me, you'll know everything is just like by the seat of your pants. So thank you so much for your time today. I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we talked yesterday for a hot second, and I felt like I thought about it. I was like, we should be talking about this on social media so that we could kind of like get this conversation going throughout the county. We both live in Bergen County, and so this is an important conversation to have. Really quickly, Dr. Suzanne Mullings is the president of the Bergen County Legislative Black Caucus. They
No, just
started in,
the Bergen County Black Caucus.
oh, Bergen County Black Caucus. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Did I write it down wrong? Um,
It's
I
okay.
put legislative in there because I thought I saw that on
That's
something.
different. Yeah, that's not us.
Oh, okay. My bad. I'll correct it. I'll correct it on the back end.
Okay.
But yeah, so I wanted to talk to her today because they are very much keyed into what's going on right now with the election. Early voting, like I said, ended yesterday. And according to, I guess, totals right now, 401,000 New Jerseyans have already voted. So if you haven't voted already, tomorrow is the big day. So Suzanne, give us your thoughts about like the primary, this process, and what you guys are doing to help people get out the vote.
Sure. So, I just want to make it very clear that the primary is so important. I think we all have to do a better job in just understanding the relevance of the primary. And if we don't vote in the primary, we cannot expect our candidate to be on the ballot in November. So for the Bergen County Black Caucus, it's important for us to educate our community
Mm-hmm.
and just increase voter literacy. So when, you know, residents are asked to vote, they understand what the ask is and why. We also want to just make it a general conversation, something that is not just happening during election time, but something consistent. So it's more natural when people are asked about their vote. They know it's voting season. They're
Mm-hmm.
familiar with the candidates.
Mm-hmm.
They align different candidates' campaign ideologies with their own and make a decision.
Okay. So with this particular race, we are electing a new governor. Well, not a new governor, but the Democratic and the Republican candidates who will run for governor in the fall. So right now there are a panel of like six. Is it six Democrats and
Six
five or
Democrats.
so? Yeah, and five or
Correct.
so Republicans. So I'm not well versed on the Republican candidates because I am not a Republican. So let's just give a but they are there. You can look on other websites. NJ.com has a full deck of who is running, what they stand for, what their ideologies are for all candidates, and so does NJ Spotlight News. As for me and my little page, I don't go that deep. I am a Democrat. I already put it out there and jumped out the window and said I'm voting for Ras Baraka. I hope that they win. However, the Bergen County Black Caucus does not endorse candidates, but can you just give us an overview as to who is out there that we should be looking at?
So we don't endorse at this time, but we do support Black candidates. And I'm just going to highlight the two. We have Sean Spiller and we have Mayor Raz Baraka.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you follow the Bergen County Black Caucus,
Mm-hmm.
then you'll see the different interactions that we've had with the mayor in terms of getting out the vote. Uh, we highlight both on our page
Mhm.
based on just general work that we've done
Mhm.
together.
Mhm.
Obviously, we bring to light what they're doing, recognizing the candidate, and why they what highlights of their campaign should really be the draw as to how you make your decision. At the end of the day, people are have the ability to vote for whoever they want to. I think the takeaway is that they vote.
Mhm.
If the black community does not vote, we do not have a foot in the
Mhm.
race. That's just the end of it. That's
Mhm.
the beginning and the end of it.
Mhm.
So I think that's really the takeaway. Doing your homework. When we talk about the six candidates, if you're a Democrat, what do you know about the candidates? Do you even know who's running? Right? A lot of people don't know who's running for primary. Why? Because the primary is usually very low attended, right? There's a low turnout. So these are some of the things. Obviously, we can't make a great shift by
Mhm.
tomorrow, but bringing the issues to light help us to prepare for the upcoming election in November and those to follow.
Mhm.
Every year we have an election. Every year.
Mhm. So, with like you said, there is traditionally lower turnout rates for primaries. I think New Jersey is also relying on the fact that we've always been, or not always, but we're pretty much a blue state over the past few years. However, with the way things have been going, especially in Washington and on down, the blue state status is not secured and it's not definite. And so this is a very important election because so many of the Democratic candidates are from different points of view. Some are progressive, some are fake progressives, like I heard Barack once say. So we want to make sure that everybody knows that if they're not counted in this election, this might be the election that determines whether or not we go red officially. And so, what do you have to say to those um, who are on the fence between candidates? Because there are candidates where, especially on the Democratic side, where I like him, but I also like her, or I like her, and what do you say to those, especially those of us who are black, who are on the fence still about who we're voting for, in this period?
So again, it's about what's important to you in your day-to-day life, right? What are some of the challenges you have? What are the things that when you wake up in the morning you're concerned about? Whether it has to do with you personally, your family. These are the candidates that you should align with. And that's with any election.
Mm-hmm.
We have the opportunity this election to elect the first black governor in New Jersey. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that in itself speaks volumes. We're in
Mm-hmm.
2025 and we've
Mm-hmm.
never had a black governor. So when we talk about representation, is that important to you? Maybe it's not important to everybody. It's important to me.
Mm-hmm.
So these are some of the things that I want to know who's running and who I should put my vote and support
Mm-hmm.
behind. Again, these are everyday issues that we talk about and we should be speaking about just like we do what's going on in pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
We should be talking about things from even our local level all the way up to federal and state and federal
Mm-hmm.
levels. We want to know how we are going to be impacted, how are we going to be represented. If there are people that don't understand our plight, how can we expect them to fight for us?
Exactly. And two, race aside, in this moment, we need people who are actually going to open their mouth and fight. We have two Congress people that are running who have the opportunity to fight every day, and it seems like nothing's changing. So we need fresh faces, fresh voices, fresh perspectives that will actually go in there and fight and represent all of New Jersey, not just the ones that have donated lots of money to their super PACs. And I'll just leave it at that. Um,
Well, I mean, you make a good point, and I don't think you should be ashamed or shy
I'm
to speak
not.
facts, right? No, not you, but
Yeah,
anyone,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Put it out there and have the conversation. People may agree or disagree with anything we say, but at least it generates a conversation. And yeah, we did just have the two candidates, two of the six Democrats that are running on the election in November, and they won, and they represent us in Congress. Now, I guess a month later, they decided they want to be
Yeah,
governor.
Oh.
And that's their prerogative. But at the same time, if you listen to debates or even follow the individual candidates, you can make your own decision as to who's doing the work, who has the experience, who's going to walk the walk, who's going to talk the talk. I don't think there's any politician out that's perfect. I
Mm-mm.
don't think, they may have good intentions, but again, it's our job to hold them accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And again, when we talk about the black candidates, particularly Mayor Raz Baraka, I live in Englewood. He's been to Englewood and Bergen
Several
County
times.
multiple times throughout his campaign. So he was reachable. He was someone you can ask questions, what's your intentions, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
I did have the pleasure of hearing Sean Spiller speak as well. And same thing, you can ask them these questions and make your own assessment. Some of the others are not as reachable, but again, we can reach out, we can write letters, we can send emails, but you have to be involved. You have to know at least who's running, and what their platforms are. And we can't expect to run a black agenda if we're not even in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that, by being in the game means you have to vote.
Exactly. So on to the other candidates. I had the opportunity to speak to Damali Robinson, who was running for assembly in District 38.
Yes,
And then there is also Kenyatta
Stewart.
Stewart, who was running
Mhm.
for assembly in District 35. Have you met either one of them? And what are your words about the assembly races with black candidates?
So Kenyatta Stewart, he does represent two towns in Bergen County. And yes, I have met him. And he has been on the campaign trail and very visible in
Mm-hmm.
both of those respective towns. Damali Robinson is 38, very close to 37. She's also running, and I think they both have a really good chance
Mm-hmm.
in terms of support and momentum that they've gained on their campaign trail.
Mm-hmm.
Damali is a nurse like myself,
Mm-hmm.
so I have to, again, you align with those that have similarities and visions and mission that you can relate to and
Mm-hmm.
speak to the issues that affect you as a constituent in these respective
I didn't
towns.
get a chance to speak to Kenyatta, but I know with Damali, healthcare is a huge part of her platform as well,
Hmm.
as long, along with children, and so that's what draws me to her. I don't live in that district though. I live in District 37, which is the bulk of Bergen County, I believe. So with Shama Hader, Ellen Park, they are running against. There's several candidates running in that race. They are not black, but they are who our incumbents are. Do you have any words of anything regarding that race
Well,
in
yeah,
particular?
I think obviously the incumbents, there are two that you can look up their track record because they've already done the work.
Mm-hmm.
And if that, again, is something, police reform, healthcare education, things of, oh, we got another guest.
Got a guess. I know.
Those are things that you think, in terms of legislation, they've done a good job. Those are candidates that, again, we support
Mm-hmm.
as incumbents.
Mm-hmm.
We also have the commissioner race. To me, that's another area we have to really focus on because
Well,
there's no black representation on
let's
that level.
clean that up. We have an Afro Latino representation. We
Mhm.
have an African American or black representation. Let me clean that up a little bit because
So let me help you. So the incumbents, right?
yeah.
They do have
Mm-hmm.
Hispanic representation in Commissioner Ortiz, and that's also the incumbent ticket, Ortiz, Omarosa, and Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
So again, incumbents, you can check their track record. If these are people in place running and in place currently and doing the job, they should gain your support. If
So,
not, that's when we look to others to
mhm.
replace them, and that's the beauty of the democracy we live in.
So going back to the commissioner's race, like you said, there is no African American representation specifically for Bergen County. So, are there any? What is? let me back up. Does the caucus make an effort to find people who would make good candidates in the future? How do they start grooming new candidates to probably try to run for some of these spaces so that we can have representation? And is that on your agenda?
Well, ideally, that is on our agenda, but first you have to identify candidates. You have to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that people are willing and understand the job that is before them. And then with grooming comes putting them in places where they can learn the ropes or learn from someone else. And also those in place have to have succession plans, right? They can't sit there forever,
I appreciate
especially.
that. I feel like sometimes they think that they're going to live forever in those seats, and it's like, and this is not just for Bergen County. This is so many races where either a candidate or the incumbent dies or something happens, and there's no plan. It's like, well, you guys didn't think this was going to happen. Nothing lasts forever.
I mean,
So yes,
there are a lot of different levels to preparation. I mean, something as simple as civics class, people have to understand what these positions mean and how they affect the constituents, the taxpayers,
mm-hmm.
and be ready to engage in that position. We don't want people to just come there, go along to get along, just be there, taking up seats, representing Board of Ed. They don't have children in the district.
Mm-hmm.
People just put in position, but sometimes they're there because they have their own agenda. We have to have ours. And if ours means pushing our forward or moving our community forward, we have to identify candidates, we have to groom candidates, and we have to support the candidates.
Exactly. Okay, well, I didn't want to take up your whole time, but I thank you for joining me today. Let's wrap up with this. And I got on my Rooting for Everybody Black t-shirt on. Um, so just tell us really quickly your final thoughts as far as the importance of voting in this election for Bergen County Black voters and what the caucus is doing to support uh, the voting effort.
So I will say this, I say it every day, for those that complain, that's not going to get it.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Oh, we're losing your video. Hold on, Suzanne.
to
I'm gonna
monitor the amount of people.
I'm gonna ask you to repeat it because we lost most of your
Oh,
audio.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
know if you're talking.
Yeah, somebody
Don't
called, sorry.
almost
So
on
what
live.
So what I'm going to say is that we can't just complain. You hear I'm not into politics. You get a plethora of reasons why people don't want to vote, and it's very disheartening because without their support, as a collective, we can't move forward. We need to, if we succeed as a group, we have to get out and vote in order to see that success come to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
We can't stay at home. You talked about the state being blue and then turning purple and potentially red. I don't think it's because they're any less Democrats. I think it's because people sit the elections out.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to encourage people have to be excited to see a change, And unfortunately, when people don't see a change, they get discouraged and they don't vote. But quite frankly, they should go harder.
Mm-hmm.
They have to vote with vigilance, right? If you don't like the candidate, vote for someone else, then someone who you believe will do the job. But just sitting it out won't get us to where we need to be. And if we don't have representation in terms of numbers, they take our vote for
Mm-hmm.
granted. And we already know that people are trying to suppress our vote and do everything they can to ensure we don't vote. And we can't let that
Exactly.
happen. We have to make sure that we call everybody in our phones, remind them tomorrow is election. Not, oh, I'm not going to vote. Why? Come out and vote. It's free. You don't have to pay. People fought, died, and suffered so that we can have the right to vote. Not only Black people, but also women.
Mm-hmm.
So these are things that we have to, again, have conversation. It should be ingrained in our conversations every day, just like we talk about pop culture. What about those potholes? What about all the things going on in our towns? What about What do you think about all these
Uh-oh.
different things?
Mhm.
Get people involved. They have to come outside. They have to understand what's going on. And we can't be reactive. We have to be proactive.
Mhm.
And that means getting out to vote. That's really the only voice we have. They don't want to hear us complain.
Mm-mm. And then, the other thing too is if your vote didn't mean anything, they wouldn't work so hard to try to take it from you. That's
Right.
one point. And I heard John Harmon, who was the president of the African American Chamber of Commerce for New Jersey, he said, if you don't do politics, politics will do
Yes,
you. And so
yes,
either
yes.
way,
I
you
have
either
a
have a say in
similar
how it goes
saying. When they
or
say I'm
just,
not into politics, politics is into you.
yeah,
So
so
regardless if you vote, don't vote, there's a
it's
decision
going to
being
be, and
made, and I'd
it's going to
rather be
affect
a
you
part of the decision than on the receiving end of something I had
with no voice.
no skin in it. So you have to vote, and you have to encourage these young people to vote, educate them why it won't be one discussion, right? It has to be multiple discussions for them to even find interest in what you're saying. And it cannot just be at election time. It has to be
Exactly.
something that's hardwired into us that this is coming up. Again, if you don't get out and vote June 10th, you will not see your candidate in November.
Mhm. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Suzanne. I really appreciate you taking this time, especially on such super short notice. But
No
this is what
problem.
I'm all about, access to people. Everybody go ahead and follow give me the Instagram again because I'm going to get it wrong.
It's one word, Bergen County Black Caucus, and we're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Follow us. Our website is www.bcbcnj.org. And we
Got it.
look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. If you missed early voting, shame on you. But tomorrow is go time. Get out and vote tomorrow, June 10th, from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Mhm. All right, Suzanne. Well, thank you so much. And again, you guys get out there and vote. This is not a game. And even my baby says to vote. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you guys for watching and spread the word. NJ in Color connects you to the diversity of North Jersey. You guys have a great day and vote, vote, vote.
Thank you. Take
Bye,
care.
Suzanne.